All right, man. So, last night you had the New York Football Giants go against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers, they still been a very competitive team. I know that even when they had Mason Rudolph, who was very mediocre, but they was still able to be kind of somewhat successful in the AFC North, despite that Lamar Jackson was running up for the MVP candidate. But right now you had Daniel Jones, man. I just think it was a little sloppy. I mean, he in the last few drives. So I would say in the beginning, it's like he was coming to a rhythm. He was throwing the ball fairly well. I mean, Darius Slayton and him was clicking. You can see that he was very happy and ecstatic with Jason Garrett running that offense. And I can say, I admire Daniel Jones. I think that he has a lot of potential. He learned a few years from, I would say a couple years maybe, is that from Eli Manning before he retired. And I think he's still in his corner. And he's working very hard, man. Every day with Joe Judge. I mean, Joe Judge, like I said, assistant coach for the New England Patriots, I think 3-time or Super Bowl champion. So he knows what he's doing, and he'll be doing those hardcore practices. But it was just very dissatisfying to see how they came up short, underperformed. And the thing that he has to really work on is that when he got into the red zone, he managed to throw that interception to that lineman. And that really changed the dynamic of the game because it took him 18 plays to get there when it was critical for them to actually have a potential to shut down the Pittsburgh Steelers and maybe be up for maybe a couple possessions but Big Ben was getting back into a rhythm. He started off sloppy too. So it was a back and forth game, but I just really think that, man, his readiness, man, and being clutch is very critical. Those small attention to detail when, why would you throw a play action, which is very bad, man. I just think, he really rushed the offensive line was a big deal too. I believe he got sacked like at least 3 or 4 times in the game. And it was just something that Daniel Jones was getting very frustrated trying to get that ball out instead of throwing it away and maybe get a field goal. Those little things there, man, that's how I'm really kind of concerned about Daniel Jones, because even if you do, try to be competitive and win the NFC East, you go into the playoffs, yes, they're going to be blitzing, they're going to pick up your weaknesses, and you have to be able to, trust your offensive line and go out here and throw accurate passes. And as we see there, that wasn't the case there. Yeah, Saquon Barkley, he did okay as far as like reception. He had like 60 reception yards, but the run game was very bad. 15 carries for 6 yards, and he only averaged 0.04 yards a carry, man. They shut him down. You got to give it up to that defense on the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. But, with Daniel Jones, 279 yards, 26 for 41. He threw 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, man. The luckily is that the NFC East is not too competitive. I think the only teams you have to probably watch out for is probably the Dallas Cowboys. Fairly, I think the Eagles is still rebuilding right now. Carson Wentz is not his old self anymore. I heard an Eagles fan say they should have kept Nick Foles, and maybe I could agree with that. I might. But Daniel Jones, man, you got to get together, man. I know it's week 1. I got to see who they go against in week 2. And people say, why are you talking about the New York Giants? You're not a Giants fan, but I do admire greatness. I remember the Mario Manningham, Hakeem Hicks, and with Eli Manning, and I just see that. How hard Daniel Jones worked in practice and on film and stuff. I mean, he was always on my radar. It's just the teams that I'm not a fan of, but I do watch other teams. I just do. I like to hear about other teams and their success. Like, the Dakota Prescott with the Cowboys and, Daniel Jones here because, I mean, he's supposed to be the savior of the New York Giants. I mean, you don't have Odell anymore. You don't have Victor Cruz. I mean, you got to work with Slayton. You got to work with Sterling Shepard, C.J. Board, all these individuals, man, and it could be tough. It could be tough, but I think maybe they're going to bounce back. Jason Garrett seems like he knows what he's doing with the play calling, but it's just like when they get into the red zone, you got to be able to score. You can't make critical mistakes like that, man. That can change the dynamic of the games, man. And so, you want to put yourself in a great spot. I say the defense on the Giants was okay. It was pretty decent. They did their best. They got after Ben Roethlisberger. That was very aggressive. They sacked him a couple times, I truly believe. Almost had interceptions on him, but they was confusing him a lot, man. But I just think with Jones, for him leading this team, get back into the film with Joe Judge and just going out here and bounce back for next week, man. Because, they in a I think the only team right now is the Washington football team in this particular moment. It's the one that's leading the division, but that can easily change. If you want to, go against and beat the Eagles twice, or the Redskins, well, sorry, Washington football team twice, and Cowboys twice, yeah, you got to be mindful of the things that you do. So this Pittsburgh Steelers may be a dress rehearsal. It wasn't a blowout. They lost by 10, 26-16. But I will say I like the effort that, Daniel Jones is going. If you continuously to do that for the rest of the season, I think he will be good before he throw that interception and just clinching. Because, I mean, him just, throwing the ball down the field accurately was really good, man. It was a thing to see. And I was thinking like, wow, they're moving up and down the field. Took them 18 plays, but they was getting into a rhythm. So I think this is the vision that Jason Garrett wants, for his Giants team. And also to Joe Judge. So we'll see. Just kind of a little down right now for Daniel Jones' performance. I just really wanted him to go out there and go out there with a bang for this NFL, I guess, quote unquote debut of Week 1, their home season opener. But it is what it is. The teams that struggle usually in Week 1, they kind of end strong throughout the season. So you got like 16 more games. It's going to be a long season. So that's all I really have to say, man. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, even Giants fans out here, man. But I just really think it was a little sloppy as far as, like, the red zone coverage, red zone precision, and getting the football down there, man. There's a lot of forced throws there. And he just got to be calm and keep his composure when he's getting blitzed. And that offensive line was atrocious last night. Really was. But that's all I really have to say. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. I'm out. Deuces.